All right. Welcome everybody. Today I'm going to be here talking about gophers, specifically how to trap them. It's spring, it's the end of May right now in Santa Cruz, and we're seeing a major surge of gopher activity. And while I do want to acknowledge that in the natural environment, gophers play a very important role in the ecosystem. When we're working in a cultivated space, in an orchard, we kind of have to take matters into our own hands when the natural predators aren't present. And so we've resorted to trapping. And so why don't I start by showing you what kind of tools we use to trap. I've got my gopher bucket right here. We use Gophernator traps attached to a piece of wire and then a piece of PVC, so when we put the trap down the run, we are able to locate our traps and pull them out. I have got a trowel or a hori-hori. This is super helpful in being able to dig down and find the run and locate the run, kind of dig it out and get the trap in there. And the only other thing I have are my gloves. So yeah, that's it. Let's get started. The first part I want to talk about is how to locate an active run. So let's go check out some mounds over here and we'll get started. Okay, cool. So one of the most important parts about setting your traps and having success with gopher trapping is you've got to be able to find an active run. So what I typically do is kind of walk through the landscape and kick over some soil. There's obviously was some action here, but all this soil's dried up, which means that the gopher is no longer active. Right here, I can tell that there's a little bit of moisture in the soil. And so I'm going to kick that over and I can tell that there's stuff going on in here. So that's going to indicate that there's potentially an active run right here. And I'll start digging to see if I can find it. Soil's pretty loose with all the mulch, but typically if you dig down deep enough, you can find a run. There we go. Here it is. Right there. You definitely want to be able to reach your hand in there to be able to really get deep into the run so that you have success with setting your trap. And I do like to find two sections. Usually there's a Y there, so you might want to keep digging so you can set two traps in one. But for now, I'm just going to show you how to set the trap and get it deep into the run and what to do after that. Okay, so now we're ready to set the trap. As I mentioned before, this is the Gophernator trap. We have the most luck with using these. We can get them really deep into the run and pretty much guarantee to get the gopher as long as you've got it in the run deep enough. So I'm going to show you how to set it. First of all, you want to open, this is what cinches down on the gopher. This is the little mechanism that holds this piece apart. So we're going to kind of hold that down. You can see right there. And then there's a little hook right here that is what creates, it kind of puts tension on it. This is the hardest part about doing it. You kind of have to maneuver your hands like this and twist to get it to hook around there. It takes some practice to get the technique down, but once you do it a couple times, you kind of get the feeling of it. And so then what you do is you kind of adjust. This is the little trick that you know, when the gopher comes in and hits this bar right here, that's what sets the trap off. So I like to kind of put that, they call it a hairline, on a hairline there, so you can, doesn't take much to set the trap off. So now it's all set. I always hold it right here. This is the safe spot. Obviously never put your hands in this area. And so we're gonna get this trap down there in the run. Now what we're gonna do is get this gopher trap as deep down the run as we can get it. So we're gonna carefully push it down here. You don't have to be too careful, but you just want to make sure that it doesn't get set before Now you can notice I'm getting the metal part basically as deep down there as I can, to where I can't even see it from right above the run. And then I'm just going to place the PVC pipe out of the way. And then this is the part where I'm going to show you my technique. There's a lot of different ways to go about this, but this is how I have the most success. Is what I do is put kind of like a bigger chunk of soil back down there to kind of like stop all of the soil from backfilling. And I'm just going to cover the hole back up, but I'm doing it in a way where I know there's still a little bit of filtered light coming through. And what that's going to do is prompt the gopher to kind of go, hey, something's wrong with that mound that I made. And I'm going to come back, and they end up going to fix it, and they run into the trap. And so that's kind of the concept of how I trap gophers. And I typically have a lot of luck with it. Okay, cool. We're gonna check a couple of these traps that I set 2 weeks ago. One thing I wanted to mention was, after you set your trap, I usually like to wait at least overnight before I check the trap again. If you didn't get the gopher within one 24-hour period, you're probably not gonna get it, and it's worth resetting your traps or finding a different run. So let's check these and see if we had any luck. Okay, that one's still set. I'm just gonna show you how to deal with these. If you didn't get a gopher, what you're gonna do is use your PVC, kind of hold the trap like this, and you're gonna knock this back, and it sets the trap off. So that one, we didn't get anything, and this one doesn't feel like anything either. No. Bummer. So now let's check a trap that I set a couple days ago and see if we had any luck catching the gopher. This specific spot was a little tricky because there was a lot of crabgrass and a lot of mulch, but eventually I was able to find the run and get this trap in there. So let's check it out. Feels like there's maybe a little something in there. All right, there we go. We got him. Woohoo! Cool. Yeah, stoked we got this gopher. Typically what I do is take it out of the trap and put it right back down the hole where it came from. Some folks, if you live kind of out in the country, you can leave the gophers out for the predators to eat. But yeah, just undo the trap and put them back down there.